Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to create a MLA Works Cited page. Before we get started, let me just tell you my neighbors are, can you hear that? I don't know, maybe you can't hear it, hopefully you can't, but they are sawing wood for some reason. Who knows, they're building a treehouse or something. So you're going to hear that in the background and I'm sorry about that. But they do it all day, so when am I going to find time to, I'm getting to be that middle-aged lady. Oh, I gotta stop. Okay, let's talk about your works cited page. So you should already know what this looks like because you did the Nearpod activity. But I just want to walk you through it so that you make as few mistakes as possible. So what you'll do is at the top of the page, I have just one here from my dissertation. The top of the page, you write the word works cited and you center it. Do you notice how there are not all capitals here? The only capital letters are W and C, right? And you'll notice that it says works cited. It's not in bold, it's not larger, there's no quotations around it, and it says works cited. It needs to look exactly like that. MLA is really particular about all the formatting. All style guides are. That's sort of the point of a style guide. So you want it to look exactly like that. The other thing to notice here is how it is alphabetized. Now, a lot of your sources will have author names because you're looking for credible sources, and the author names is a sign that it's a credible source, right? So you put the last name, comma, first name, and then you alphabetize your sources based on last name. Now, if you have a source, I'm sure I have one here. Ooh, I don't. Okay, but if you have a source where you don't know the name of the person, and you're going to be using the Purdue OWL to format this, but let's say you start, because there is no name for the person, you start with the name of the article, you just alphabetize it based on the first letter in that source. So if Michael Brody was not here, and the source just looked like that, then you would just put Batman above Bonko here because now you need to organize based on that one. Okay, so this is what a works cited page looks like. It's got double spacing throughout. It has different kinds of citation based on whether or not it is a book or an article. This is a book because it is italicized. This is an article. We know that because it's in quotation marks. Names of journals are in italics. They have since updated how we do journal citations, so you'll need to make sure that you're on the most updated version of the style guide, but this is what it looks like. Oh, one other thing, I have multiple sources from Bob Kane. He's the guy who wrote Batman, so obviously in a paper about Batman, I don't know if I told you that, this paper's about Batman, you would have lots of Batman comics, right? If you have multiple sources by the same person, that's what you see here with these dashes. And it looks just like that. The one thing that is messed up about this is the lines at the top. Don't worry about those. Those were a mistake because of the way that I was doing notes. But the works cited, yes, looks like this. Okay. Lots of you guys don't do your works cited in Word, so I just want to show you because this comes up quite a lot. Let's say you're doing this in Google Docs, and you know that it is supposed to be double spaced. Go over here to line spacing, doubled, okay, but you also know that the second line is supposed to be indented, and when you do that, it does not work, right? So what you do is you highlight the whole thing, and you could do multiple sources at once. You could do your entire document at once if you wanted to, but you highlight the citation, you go to Format, you go to Align and Indent, then you go down here to Indentation Options, and it's a special indent. You click hanging. That's what that specific kind of indentation is called, where the second line is indented on a citation, and you press apply, and then you get it. Hanging indent. You can, of course, do it with just a bunch of spacing, but then when you mess something up and you have to go in and change it, it is a huge pain. If you do it this way and you're just like adding stuff, it's going to maintain that indentation, so that's what you want to do there. Okay, so one more time, you go to Format, Align and Indent, Indentation Options, under Special Indent, you write hanging, and if at any point you forget how to do that, you Google how to do a hanging indent in Google Docs, right? anything that you are ever having questions about, you Google first, because honestly, that is what your teachers are doing when you ask them questions about MLA citations. As I was showing you my document, it's not like, guys, I don't have all of that memorized. More than you, because I've had to make a ton of these things. But when I created this document, it's not like I did that off the dome, right? So what you need to do is Google Purdue Owl. That's how you spell it. This is the same thing from the Nearpod. You click on the first link that comes up, and the Purdue Owl has a guide for MLA and APA. APA is what you use when you are doing like social studies papers. So for your psychology classes, your sociology classes, go to APA. Chicago is used for history. I think they still use Chicago. And MLA is what we use in the humanities. And as you're writing essays in college, you are going to have to switch between these different kinds of style guides. Because we're English teachers, and the English teachers are usually the ones who are teaching you how to conduct research, we always teach you MLA. But I promise, like, learning MLA is not going to mess you up for life. The important thing that it teaches you is that you need to stick to a certain style and be meticulous about how you're following the guidelines of that style. So you click on this, it gives you a little update or a little introduction. Just know that the Purdue Online Writing Lab always updates their style guide. They're always updated with the newest one. I don't know why this is. The cynic in me says it's just because of capitalism, but MLA will update their style every couple of years. When I was going to school, I used to have to buy a manual. It was like a big, thick guy every single year because you had to stay updated on these changes. But now everything is online and we don't need to have these manuals anymore. And you go here and it says MLA Formatting and Style Guide, and you have all of the situations that might come up when you are citing something. You have in-text citations, the basics. We've been talking about this a little bit, how you put the last name and the author number, about how it goes quotation, parenthesis number, period, just like that. Hopefully this is looking familiar to you because we have done it a few times now. And the whole purpose of the in-text citations is to help lead you back to the Works Cited page. So if I go over here, I see MLA Works Cited page, basic format. MLA Works Cited page, books, periodicals, electronic sources, and other common sources. So let's look at the basic format first. It's going to tell you everything that I just told you about double spacing it, what to capitalize, how to list author names. Oh, what about if you have more than one author? This might come up, right? Or if you have an author that has 2 books. There we go. Let's see, where's my double authors? Oh, sorry, we will get to that part. I got a little distracted here actually reading their sources. Work with no known author. See, that's just what I told you about here, is you start it with just the first thing in your citation, right? Okay, now let's look and see if there are double authors. Let's go to books. This comes up, I promise, when you guys are looking for sources. Basic book format, last name, first name, title. Notice the punctuation. Notice how it is italicized. There are commas sometimes and periods sometimes, and you have to follow that exactly. Book with one author, write like that. Then you get to book with more than one author, and you have to follow this absolutely exactly. So it goes last name, comma, first name of the first listed author, and then comma, and Neil Lerner, first name, last name, period. I don't know why they made any of these choices, but you'll just have to trust them and you'll have to follow it. And I keep saying exactly, and that's really important because you're going to make a Works Cited page now, and I am going to look for it to be perfect, absolutely perfect. And I go through, and for every error that you make, I subtract 1 point. It's worth 30 points total. And let's say that in this one, you didn't italicize the title. Okay, that's minus 1 point. Let's say you didn't italicize the title and you didn't capitalize historicism, that's minus 2 points. Let's say you put a period after St. Martin's, that's minus 3 points. It's not like it'll be minus 1 point for each citation that you get wrong. It's every single little mistake. Let's say you didn't put a space right there between the period and St. Martin's. That's minus 1 point. The thing where it really gets people is, let's say you had a big long title like this and you don't capitalize any of it. I'm going to count up how many things should be capitalized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will be minus 8 points if you don't capitalize the title. So look through the Purdue OWL really, really closely. Let's look at electronic sources because I always get emails about these. It tells you how to do it, and it says if you are missing information, here's what you do. Oh, I can't find the title of the web page. Okay, then you skip that part. Oh, I can't find the publisher of the web page. It tells you what to do. Let's say that it is an ebook. Let's say that it's an article in a web magazine. Let's say it's a tweet. How do I cite that? All of it is here. The only thing that I have not been able to find on the Purdue OWL is comic books. So if you are citing a comic book, you can come talk to me. But personal interviews, published interviews, speeches, lectures, panels, like any kind of source that you are finding, CD, album, it is on this website. So if you email me and say, I don't know how to do this kind of citation, all I am going to do is send you the link for the Purdue OWL. Because what I want you to do is learn how to dig through this information to find what you need. All right, let's talk really quickly about citation generators. For the most part, they are great tools. So I found this article, I've found this before about social distancing in the 1918 flu epidemic. And I clicked over here, I clicked the Cite button. An excellent tool. Click that Cite button, check it out. And it has all of these different styles that you can cite in. There's APA, AMA is medicine, Chicago, like I said, for history. Let's see. Oh, that's the one for history. Okay, you go down to MLA, right? And what you can do is if it's correct, you can just cut and paste that and put it in your Works Cited page. Now make sure this is you. That's probably going to go very near the end of your Works Cited, right? Make sure that you're putting it in the right spot, but that is such a good tool. That's exactly how it is supposed to look in MLA. However, I don't know why this is, but you may find that you click on MLA, you go, great, there it is. I cut and paste and put it into my Works Cited, and look here. They have capitalized every letter of this person's name, which is not MLA. So if you had just copied and pasted this and put it into your Works Cited, you would get minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Minus 9 points out of 30 for just this one citation because you are not supposed to capitalize that. So what you have to do, if you're going to use citation generators, by all means use citation generators. They're a great tool, but make sure that you are double checking that it looks exactly how, this is from Purdue OWL again, exactly how it is supposed to look. I look here and I see that, oh yeah, names are not supposed to be in all caps, especially not like partially in cap, like with just the S lowercase, like that's clearly wrong, right? So just double check, make sure you've got everything. The other thing that's missing out of these Works Cited, if you look on this, you need to put an access date. And none of them on EBSCO or Academic Search Bar or JSTOR, none of those will have the access date. And so you have to put that into your Works Cited, because if you are missing 8 access dates and you have 8 database sources, it's minus 8 points on your assignment. Okay, so the key here is perfection. I don't often ask for perfection from you, but for a Works Cited page, that's the whole point of doing it. So find 8 sources, put them into a Works Cited page, format that baby perfectly, and then turn it in at the bottom of this assignment. Okay, see ya, good luck.